Hey, how's it going? Today we're talking about an episode of Dimension X called A Logic Named Joe. This was a story that was originally written by, God, what's his name? Murray Leinster. And that was the pen name for William Fitzgerald Jenkins. It originally was published in the 1946 March edition of Astounding Science Fiction magazine. And it was actually published under his real name, I believe, Will F. Jenkins. And he also had another story published in there under another one of his pen names, which was just Adapter. But yes, he was a pretty interesting guy. He was born in 1896 in Norfolk, Virginia. And he wrote, I believe, over 1,500 short stories, 14 movie scripts, a lot of which, for the time that he was alive, are lost films now. I think one of the biggest ones he did was one called Murder Will Out, which was about Asian gangs like blackmailing businessmen. And that's a lost Warner Brothers film from that time. He also invented the film technique front projection, not to be confused with rear projection, which is what they used in King Kong to project either other people into the waterfalls or things behind the actors. But front projection was used in particularly the Superman movie, Superman 2 and 3, I guess, where you shoot at a double-sided mirror at a 45-degree angle so that it projects behind the actor and then you film through the mirror. It's hard to explain. He created front-end projection. So very interesting guy. And it's a very interesting story. A Logic Named Joe is essentially, in 1946, basically like predicting, Alexa or Amazon Echo or anything like that. It's about a repairman for the Logics who, his name is Ducky, and he is taking out one of the first prototypes of the Logic. And basically one of them becomes somewhat self-aware and decides to rewire part of the control panels and their relays that would typically stop them from giving out information that would be harmful to people. One point in the beginning of the story, as more of a joke, somebody says, well, these things could be dangerous. Like, ask it, just ask it, just for laughs, ask it how you could get away with murdering your wife. And the Logic starts going into this, it basically has this wild, omniscient, universal knowledge, but it's just like AI. You have to ask it the right questions because, the thing basically spits out, is your wife a blonde or brunette? He says his wife is a blonde, and he says, okay, well, there is a green shoe polish that has a ingredient in it that is specifically toxic to people with blonde hair. If you put that in pea soup, no one will know this. You will not be suspected of the crime. It is not even registered with the FDA that they know this is a problem yet. So you'll be completely above suspicion. And they're kind of horrified about that. And they're like, well, yeah, maybe we should get that checked out. And the boss doesn't think it's too big of a deal until, the repairman says, well, just to test it, how could I kill my boss? And yep, the Logic tells him exactly how to do it. All of a sudden, the problems are hitting too close to home, and he really needs to fix this problem for his boss and everyone. The police are after Ducky as well to fix the problem because there's a crime wave that is going, and they can't solve any of it because every crime is so perfectly executed because the people who are using the Logic, they're being given perfect directions on how to get away with all of this scot-free. So the entire story is that Ducky has to find the self-aware Logic named Joe and take him back to where he can be turned off and hopefully never turned back on again. So check it out, Dimension X, A Logic Named Joe.